So here is the question every coach asks, if not now, inevitably soon. Where are the leads? How do I find more leads? How do I get more leads? Are they hidden under the table? Are they over there? Are they in a funnel? Are they in a workshop? How do I get them? Everyone says the same thing. I need more leads. And I'm here to tell you today, no, you don't. What you need is a system that keeps clients around and keeps income rolling through the door, drastically reducing the need to find new leads. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics in the world, which is renewals. You've done the hard work, you've signed the client, you've brought them in the door, you've delivered incredible results, but now you're probably wondering, how the hell do I keep them around? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Chasing new clients all the time is exhausting. It is so exhausting. It's such a nightmare. Yes, there's cool ways to do it. Absolutely. But it's so much more fun to keep working with people for an extended period of time and keep pushing the envelope of their transformation and growth. How do I know? Because for the last 3 years, I have signed at least 60% of my client base up for the following year. This has helped me secure income, build freedom, and grow a business that truly serves my needs. So in this video, I'm going to share the system I teach all of my clients to keep them at a rate of at least 40% renewals year on year on year. Let's get into it. So here's the deal. Happy clients are your best marketers. They refer others and they stick around, and they generally just make your life a hell of a lot easier. But renewals don't just happen by accident. You need a system in place to consistently deliver value, build trust, and make it a no-brainer for your clients to stick around and stay working with you. Whether you're a brand new coach or you've been in the trenches for years, this video is going to teach you an all-new way to look at client retention. There are 3 core pillars to client retention. Pillar the first, the great mindset shift. Retention is always greater than acquisition. Too many coaches spend all of their time, effort, and energy trying to bring new clients into their world and into their ecosystem, while their existing clients quietly slip away and slip through the gaps. Here's the uncomfortable truth. It is 5 to 7 times cheaper to keep an existing client than it is to find a new one. Let's break down some math. Let's say we have 1,000 leads coming in our funnel. Of those 1,000 leads, roughly a quarter usually opt in, right? So we're going to say 250. From there, roughly 30%. So we'll say 60 to 70-ish. Let's be ambitious. 70 will actually view your VSL or your marketing materials or your webinar or whatever that is. Of that, roughly 40%, so again, let's be ambitious. Let's say 30 will actually get on a call. Now, depending on your sales skills, once you're on that call, you will close anywhere between, I'll say roughly a third. Let's assume you have a lot of sales skills and you close a third of them. So you have anywhere between 5 and 10 new clients. Now, all of this takes a huge amount of time and money. Yet renewals are virtually free. And if you have a stable roster of about 20 clients, well, then you're looking at about a quarter of those being needed to match the same kind of effort. The best bit is renewals can be a lot more predictable than most people like to admit. When you've got a solid system in place, you know exactly how much revenue you're going to have locked in for the following year. Now that is real freedom. Which brings us to pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 is what I call the 3 R's of renewals. Results, relationships, and reminders. The overlap of all 3 of these is a consistent system for keeping clients around and engaged. So what are they? Simple. Let's break it down. Results. This one's obvious, right? You've got to deliver great results for your clients. But it's not just about delivering that result. It's about helping them see and feel that result periodically throughout your engagement. Most coaches you see just kind of wait till the end and then go, hey, we did well. Do you want to extend? Where we need to get ahead of that is throughout and periodically, we need to check on their progress. We need to communicate their progress. We need to celebrate their progress. We need to share it with everyone. How do you do this? Progress checks, dashboards, milestones, metrics, celebration calls, celebration events. Call particular attention to when they've done something uncomfortable, when they've done something that's outside their natural area of comfort. The more you celebrate, the more you evangelize for them, the more they will feel that they're accomplishing. And here's the takeaway I want you to take from this. If they don't feel that progression, then the progression never happened. You must make it obvious throughout the entire engagement. The second R, relationships. People don't buy coaching, they buy connection. If they feel seen, heard, and respected, build that relationship by showing genuine curiosity for their lives, celebrating their wins, and being there when stuff is really, really tough. Show up twice as much as you need to during those times. It's our job as coaches to have uncomfortable conversations, really, really push them to the boundaries of their comfort zone, and sometimes straight through that. But it's also important for us to hold space to remove shame, to remove guilt, to remove judgment. People need to feel vulnerable, open, and comfortable talking to us at a much deeper connective level. Now, striking the right balance on this is absolutely key. Some people are going way too far on either side of the spectrum, and it destroys the engagement completely. You must maintain a healthy, professional relationship that also demonstrates how much you care. A pro tip from me is I love to record things about their life, about their family, about key milestones that are coming up in their life, and be the proactive one that asks about them. You can dump it in a CRM, you can take notes, you can do whatever system you need, but it's important to take that little bit of extra care with the relationship with your clients. If they feel like you get them at a personal level, they'll respect you and they will honor you at a professional level. Now, the third R, and perhaps the most important, reminders. Every coach I have ever spoken to that struggled with renewals made the same mistake. I've asked them this simple question. When does the process start? When do you start asking about renewals? And this is what they tell me. Well, we deliver great sessions. We spend a lot of time together. They give them this big list of things. And then they go, okay, and we get to the end and I offer them a discount on the next session or the next extension or the next package or the next product. That is horrendous and it is disrespectful. You have multiple ways to do this, but the easiest bar none is to remind people well and truly ahead of the cutover time. No one wants to have an end of engagement call about this. No one wants to get on and have a sales discussion. So 6 weeks out from the end of your engagement, and if you're not doing packages and time-based stuff, let's talk. But 6 weeks out, you let them know, hey, in roughly a month and a half, we are going to potentially end our engagement. So what I'd like to do, I would like to take a quick check on where we're at. Where is the progress? What have we yet to do? And what are we wanting to close out before we finish our time together? Now, what this does is two things. Very, very important. First of all, it creates the space for the sales discussion. The second thing is it puts it in their mind. Hey, I've only got this much time left to squeeze as many results out as possible. You do not want to surprise people with a sales conversation. 4 weeks out. Very simply, you're going to have a celebration call. You're going to celebrate all of their key milestones, all of their progress, and you're going to show them very clearly how they've evolved in the time working together with you. At 3 weeks out, you're going to say, just a heads up, just a little reminder, our existing engagement is ending in 3 weeks. What I'd love to do now is discuss what your stretch goals may be after we finish working together. What this is going to do is it's going to future tense them. They're going to start thinking about it. And you say, okay, I would like to see you stretch into A, B, and C. Do you feel comfortable with that? And then you coach them on what that looks like for them. Or you pull that out of them in the first place. Have them play. Have them get aspirational. Steer away from pain. Steer away from reality. Steer into vision. Steer into desire. Help them stretch into that next uncomfortable level. Then at 2 weeks out, it's back to business as usual. We want to finish really strong. And then at 1 week left, the secret sauce, if you've done all of this, the 6 week, the 4 week, the 3 week, the 2 week, you simply say, this is what we've accomplished in our time together and this is where you would like to go. Would you like help with that? And they will give you a very clear yes or a no. And I like to do this at the very start of the last session. It's literally the first thing we talk about. Hey, how are you? Great, fantastic, let's go. And the reason for this is very simple. If they say, I would love help, then you're great. Let's have a quick chat about what that looks like and we can just keep rolling into the next sessions. If they say no, then you're going to serve them so damn powerfully that they regret saying no. You are going to finish extremely strong because they will go and tell people how the engagement was. They will go and refer friends. So either way, it's a win-win. Okay. So now you have results, relationships, and reminders on point, and your mindset has fundamentally shifted to the quality of service you're going to give your existing clients. We can finally tackle the third pillar. So the last pillar is the renewal conversations themselves, and this is where a lot of coaches get stuck. They either avoid it completely because it feels gross, or they come across super pushy and salesy. I need you to re-engineer this conversation and come from a place of service. But here is the secret sauce for these conversations when it comes to renewals. You need to speak about where they started. And the more you speak about where they started, the more they can self-identify their own progress. Use words that really resonate for whatever they shared with you at the start. Maybe they came in and they were feeling apathetic, flat, stuck. They had no clarity. They just couldn't see a way out. Maybe in the job context, they felt like they were trapped. Maybe they felt like they were being suffocated in the role they were in. Speak to the exact pain words used when they first engaged with you. Refer to your notes, refer to your AI tools, whatever you're using for that, but use those words again. And this will help them self-identify their own progress. 2, you've got to paint the vision of the future. Show them what's coming up next. Show them where you would suggest they go next. Often people need a little bit of a framework or a structure or a ladder to be able to visualize the future. So I like to say, hey, look, if everything kind of winds up perfectly and you could tackle the next major goal in your life, what would that look like? What would that life look like? What would it feel like? What would it sound like? Really help them live into what that future aspirational goal is. A good example for me is I'll work with someone to get consistent 10K months. I'm like, what does 15K look like? What does 20K look like? What does the same 10K look like, but only working 2 or 3 days a week? You must challenge their status quo. You must challenge them slipping back into their comfort zone. This is where you can really live into your coaching and help them imagine a future that's got you in it. 3, make it easy. I live this for every element of every aspect of my business, but remove the friction. If you're keen to keep going, we can roll straight into the next phase. We'll just keep the payments processing, or we'll take a new lump sum and we can literally scope out what that looks like right now. Does that work for you? Don't make it weird. Don't make it awkward. Don't make it a whole new billing cycle. Just say, hey, look, we can carry on exactly as we're going. It is important that they feel like this is not a point of resistance from you or them. Most coaches will over-volunteer, start stuttering. They'll start getting really nervous and really worried. But the more calm and relaxed and low friction you can make this, the easier it is for them to say yes or tell you why not. Which brings us to point number 4. Handle objections with empathy and curiosity. If they are hesitant, dig deeper. Be a coach about it. This is coaching in action. What's holding you back? Is it timing? Is it budget? Is that really it? Or is there something deeper at play? Is there a conflict with some other part of your life? Is there an identity mismatch? Dig really deep with empathy. And look, the biggest question you're all going to have right now is, what if it's a budget thing? What if they say, oh, it's a budget problem? Isolate it. Like any sales conversation, isolate it. Hey, look, is this really a budget thing? If you had unlimited finances, would this be the actual blocker, or is there something deeper there? You must find a way to isolate the pricing objection and find out if there's something deeper at play. A lot of the time, people will use pricing as a way to circumvent discussions around results, circumvent discussions around their own time commitments or obligations, or even to avoid a conversation with their spouse or their partner. You must isolate it and then simply say, hey, look, let's figure out a way to make this work for you. And that can be pricing too. You can discuss payment plans, you can discuss rollovers. Do not volunteer a discount at this point unless absolutely necessary. Offer extended payment plans first. It is absolutely my go-to over offering a discount. If you offer a discount up front, you are offering a lower quality service. This is always the way it is perceived. So, quick recap on the conversation. Acknowledge their progress by digging deep into where they were so they can self-identify the growth. Paint the vision in an extremely deep and clear level for them. Really tap every skill set you have here. Make it easy. Remove any friction at all in any way you can. Get it out of there. Make it a super easy, super casual conversation. And finally, handle any objections with empathy and curiosity. Be more person than salesperson. Renewals aren't just about keeping clients. They're about building a business that is profitable, predictable, and deeply fulfilling. When you focus on delivering results, building relationships, and having difficult and honest conversations, then renewals just become a natural part of your business. But renewals can only happen if you have clients in the door in the first place, right? So jump on over to my next video where I walk you through my sales script step by step to ensure that you have the greatest chance of increasing your client count. See you over there.